incoming Chief of the Army Staff. Cameramen, set up the cameras and the buckets that's coming up, please. Set up the cameras and buckets, the lights. Cameramen, once again, set up the cameras and the buckets, the lights. Why is that place talking? Because I'm F. Yahaya, Commander Order of the Federal Republic, the incoming Chief of Army Staff, Major General T.A. Labaja, Nigerian Army Medal, Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, Commander Training and Doctrine Command, Formation Commanders, retired military officers who are here present, Army Headquarters Regimental Sergeant, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor this morning to very warmly welcome you to Army Headquarters Conference Room, venue for the historic occasion of the handing and taking of the certificate Labaja Nigerian Army Medal. I am Brigadier General Onyema Mwachuku, Director of Army Public Relations. It is an honor to be your master of ceremonies for this very significant day. The outgoing and incoming Chiefs of Army Staff, sir, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, before we start the ball rolling for this all-important event, I'll pay your kind indulgence at this juncture to quickly intimate opening remarks. Shortly after the opening remarks by the Chief of Police in the Land Army, the speech by the outgoing Chief of Army Staff. This will dovetail into symbolic and incoming Chief of Army Staff before wrapping up the segment where you observe. As we proceed, there will be line of routes by officers to bid farewell to the outgoing Chief of Army Staff. This will be closely followed by the traditional lowering and handing over of Nigerian Army flag to the outgoing Chief of Army Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, all senior officers are expected to return to the Army Headquarters Conference Room for the Chief of Army Staff's maiden address. The outgoing and incoming Chief of Army Staff, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, having acquainted you with the program of events, I will respectfully at this point invite the Chief of Police and
the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, Commander, Order of the Federal Republic, Nigerian Army Medal. The incoming Chief of Army Staff, Major General T.A. Labaja, Nigerian Army Medal. Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Nigerian Army, Director General, Nigerian Army Heritage and Future Center, represented. Principal staff officers from Defense and Army Headquarters, Force Commanders, Corps Commanders, General Officers Commanding, Heads of Defense and Nigerian Army establishments, Commandants of Nigerian Army Training Institutions, Commanders, very senior officers from the Armed Forces of Nigeria, senior officers, Army Headquarters, Regimental Sergeant Major, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I am Major General A.B. Omozuje, Chief of Policy and Plans Army, and it is my honor and privilege to welcome the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, the incoming Chief of Army Staff, Major General T. Lagbaja, Principal Staff Officers, Commandants, and heads of Nigerian Army establishments, and all to the Army Headquarters Conference Room this morning for another milestone in the history of the Nigerian Army. It is said that to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven. In line with this, we will all witness the birth of a new vista of leadership of the Nigerian Army with the formal investiture of Major General T. Lagbaja as the 23rd Chief of Army Staff of the Nigerian Army. At the same time, a season of unique leadership of the Nigerian Army under the command of Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya. Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, Commander Order of the Federal Republic. His command of the Nigerian Army was characterized by increased professionalism of the Nigerian Army, enhanced capacity to deliver on assigned missions, underpinned by an application of mission command unprecedented in the history of the Nigerian Army. We also witnessed an overwhelming logistic and administrative support to the field, strategic guidance to principal staff officers and commanders, with attendant heartwarming outcomes in our operations and training engagements. I am glad to note that the command of the 22nd Chief of Army Staff was defined by openness, sincerity of purpose, inclusiveness, and a determination to defend the establishment at all times. There was much compassion and empathy. In fact, a very successful and impactful command of the Nigerian Army. What is even more gladdening is that the incoming Chief of Army Staff and all who will remain with him to execute the constitutional mandate of the Nigerian Army to our dear nation, Nigeria, were all principal and active contributors to the successes recorded in the tenure of Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya. I therefore have no doubt that the Nigerian Army is in a good place and that it can only get better under the leadership of the 23rd Chief of Army Staff. Let me use this unique opportunity to thank Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya on behalf of officers, men and families of the Nigerian Army for your impactful leadership style. I also want to thank you, sir, for facilitating the congenial atmosphere that this transition and change of pattern of the leadership of the Nigerian Army is experiencing. For the first time in known history of our Army, those who are living on the coming on board of a new Chief of Army Staff are living with joy, a sense of fulfillment, and celebration. All facilitated by the wisdom and superb emotional intelligence of Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya. Finally, to my boss and my dear friend, your head of department, and the only chifu. We remain eternally grateful for the trust and confidence reposed in me throughout your exceptional command of the Nigerian Army. I remain loyal, sir. I know that all the Burmese here will not forgive me, but with what is happening in this complex today, the armed forces should learn to sing the anthem, Mogadishu. So finally, the Burmese must agree that Mogadishu leadership philosophy is the best. And once again, welcome to this auspicious occasion. Thank you and God bless.
Senior officers, gentlemen, that was the opening remarks by the Chief of Policy and Plans Army, Major General A.B. If you permit me, I refer to him as the Chief 4. That welcome remarks was full of appreciation and kind words for the outgoing Chief of Army Staff, and of course, full of expectations for the incoming leadership. Another round of applause. Senior officers, gentlemen, with that opening remarks, the stage is now set for the outgoing Chief of Army Staff's remarks.
We have been to the NDA for a number of occasions. If you go there, check why for some of the flag or natural habitat. Even when everybody was there from Burma to 70. My NDA with all his innovation, with his structure, you are everything but Burma and Burma. Just as a natural habitat. I'm very pleased to be here to see a lot of officers. I wish I have time to talk some, but I'm just here for some time. So for me, I feel bad time. But remember, you better be careful. From there, anyhow. There are some who are wearing glasses. Some army officers I have not seen for some time. They are here. The general will give the army that I will ship, but I cannot jump and give this army with you that I cannot deliver. I will have delivered. You see your fortune there. But no one is not here. The headquarters, you know, all that things. You know what in good shape. They are going to say, you of them all. The commandant, the general
White flag, sir.
The incoming Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General OFR and other principal staff officers from Defense and Services Headquarters, the Director General, Nigerian Army Heritage and Future Center, of Nigerian Army Training Institution commanders, senior officers, serving and retired, Army Headquarters, regimental state, and report that we all, with you all, rose to the situation as a team, and with the support of the federal government, made a remarkable success in the fight against insurgency and other social vices in our country. That has today changed the situation for the better. I must say that I'm indeed challenges. These efforts have yielded commendable results, and the agencies completely eradicate these threats and criminalities. Like you all know, Our operational activities greatly deny terrorists, bandits, and other violent criminals freedom of action. In the Northeast, our kinetic and non-kinetic operations, other measures and support have resulted in massive surrender of the terrorists and have restored more peace and confidence in our people. We have destroyed numerous and we are on and not relenting. Our adversaries are in this arena and on their own in all fronts. Relent or drop your guard, but rather to redouble your effort to support the incoming Chief of Army Staff to achieve even greater heights. You should remain focused in discharge of your constitutional rules of securing every region of this country. We have made several gains and recorded significant achievement in operations, in training and procurement of equipment, and we have also made giant strides in areas of infrastructural development. We have constructed activities. We have also made giant strides in the administration of our troops and their families. We have taken welfare of personnel, enjoying my successor to continue with the drive on all fronts in order to improve the operational effectiveness of the Nigerian Army, enhance the lives and well-being of our personnel, and overall output of the Nigerian Army, and I know he will. Let me state that I am truly fulfilled and delighted to remark that I am leaving the Nigerian Army better than I met it. However, as I always say, all these achievements were as a result of your commitment and dedication to duty. And for this, I say thank you all, and I urge you to remain resolute in the discharge of your constitutional duties. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you all. You must all remain apolitical. You must all remain professional, patriotic, and effective in your operations and activities. And honorable gentlemen officers dedicated to the defense and integrity of our dear nation, Nigeria, as one indivisible entity, as contained in the Constitution. Security, especially at this time of a new administration in our growing democracy. I charge you all to redouble your efforts in supporting the incoming Chief of Army Staff to achieve even greater heights. At this juncture, I want to thank Almighty God once again for His grace and opportunity for me to serve the Nigerian Army and in this capacity. Let me also use this opportunity to thank and appreciate the former President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, for appointing me as 22nd Chief of Army Staff and for his strategic guidance and tireless support and encouragement to the Nigerian Army during his tenure. I also wish to thank the former Honorable Minister of Defense, our own Major General Bashir Sali Bashir retired, as well as members of the National Assembly, Ministry Department, and agencies of government for all their support. Back home, I must thank and appreciate the Chief of Defense Staff, General Leo Irabo, for his purposeful leadership, guidance, and support. I want also to thank and appreciate my colleagues, the other service chiefs, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, CFR, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sakawaladayo Amao, CFR, for their support and cooperation. I want more sincerely thank and appreciate the cordial relationship, working relationship I enjoy with them. As service chiefs, our relationship with the Chief of Defense Staff, General Leo Irabo, CFR, and amongst ourselves was most cordial, professional, and indeed wonderful interaction. It was perhaps unprecedented. I very sincerely cherish and respect our cordiality that existed between and among us throughout our tenure. I equally thank and appreciate all other agencies and stakeholders that were related and operated together. it has indeed been a most rewarding experience. Finally, may I at this juncture once again congratulate the President Commander-in-Chief, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu GZR, on his overwhelming success at the polls and his successful swearing in as the President Commander-in-Chief. I am handing over today under the leadership of Major General T. Lagwaja will remain. Congratulations, Mr. President, sir. Thank you all. God bless.
Thank you so much, Outgoing Chief of Army Staff, sir. Very senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. If you permit me, I would like to say that the Outgoing Chief of Army Staff has left us with very huge sound bites to go home with. He has just simply told us that he has left an army, the Nigerian army, better than he met it. He's also mentioned that we should remain apolitical, professional, and loyal at all times in the defense of the sovereignty and integrity of our nation. They are equally encouraged this gathering and the entire Nigerian army to redouble our efforts in supporting the 23rd Chief of Army Staff. He has further espoused the sustenance of synergy that exists between the services and very senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up next is another significant phase of this handing and taking over ceremony. We shall now witness the symbolic endorsement of handing and taking over notes by the outgoing and incoming Chief of Army Staff. May I call on the Chief of Staff to the outgoing Chief of Army Staff, Brigadier General Ebefe, to please present the documents.
Yeah, my head of time, somebody disturbing me. You know, I don't have a program here. Sometimes I want to say something. I want to say on this seat before I go there. I want to decide the rhetorics of the children, one of us who are then also well suited for the job. He doesn't need description. We are there. Police and flags were here. Training and they live there. They only bring it in from finance, but I was helping them. And I want to appreciate also, I think it's something that touched me that while I was even talking. And Mr. Tuesday, I was going to the office to see him. To see he went down. I went to police and flags of everything there. Asked for operations. As at yesterday, asking for local, for Hakimkai, for FOBs, I should come and explain my guard, go and see Colonel and go to my office. Then later he will come at the program. He was in the office, he said, you cannot come before Chibu and Mr. Or after. I very much appreciate this gesture, and we are all from here. We know what happens when the chief is appointed. All roads would need to house 12. If we were other climbs, that will be the last time you come to us. You come from Tuesday. You will wait there, organizing his government. The amount of time you will come and approve command. Allowances and RCA for Operation Hatin Pay. There are those for some FOB, there are some requests for generators for other places. And I told you until this morning I will receive an update on the operations that he oversees for your efforts.
You are clapping with some.
At this point, thank you so much, sir. Next is the decoration of the incoming Chief of Army Staff with the insignia and paraphernalia of office. May I humbly invite the outgoing and incoming Chiefs of Army Staff to please come forward for that very significant event. Also, gentlemen, we can see the 23rd Chief of Army Staff adorned in these very new insignia as Chief of Army Staff. At this point, may I once again invite the outgoing Chief of Army Staff to please present the command flag to the new Chief of Army Staff. Sorry. Very senior officers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, of course, you will agree with me that that was a very sweet transformation. It is my honor and privilege to present before this very august gathering the 23rd Chief of Army Staff. Thank you so very much. At this point, not to beat about the bush, once again, may I have the honor and privilege now, most respectfully, invite the Chief of Army Staff to please make his remarks. The Chief of Army Staff, sir.
I'm a good student, so I learned a lot from my leader. And I'm also an ardent observer of General Obasanjo, while he held sway as the President Commander-in-Chief between 1999 and 2007. He was awarded an honorary doctorate by the Benedon University. And some media practitioners went to the presidential villa to felicitate with him. And one of them asked him, the president, sir, you have so many titles, honors, and awards that we even find it very difficult on how to address you now. Should we address you as General? And General Obasanjo responded, for General, that one I am. Or should we address you as Chief? He said, for Chief, that one I am. And they also said, should we address you as a Doctor? And General Obasanjo responded, for Doctor, that one, that dash and dash. Comical as General Obasanjo's response was, it went a long way to drive home the fact that there is a need to give honor to whom honor is due. And that is exactly what I intend to do in the next 5 minutes or thereabouts. The outgoing Chief of Army Staff, sir, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, Commander, Order of the Federal Republic, the Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Nigerian Army, the Chief of Policy and Plan, sir, headquarters, Director General, Nigerian Army Heritage and Future Center, here represented, Force Commanders, Corps Commanders, General Officers Commanding, Army Headquarters, Regimental Sergeant Major, gentlemen of the press, ladies, gentlemen. Today, we have gathered again in this revered hall to mark history as I assume command and control of the Nigerian Army as its 23rd chief. Although not all previous changes of leadership pattern between successive Chief of Army Staff have taken place in this hall, they all have had one thing in common: the former or official drawing of the curtain on one chief's tenure, which automatically marks the start of the race by another. Today, history has made it my turn to be the one the Almighty God has favored to receive the mantle of leadership. I must also sincerely appreciate the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, General Farouk Yahya, my leader, my boss, my mentor, takes a bow from office as the 22nd Chief of Army Staff of the Nigerian Army. You all agree with me that in the past 25 months of his leadership, the Nigerian Army has witnessed a milestone transformation. We have seen unprecedented procurement of equipment and prudent management of human and material resources of the Nigerian Army. In its time, the country began to reap the dividend of the cumulative efforts of his and his predecessors' regime. Recently, we are at this juncture, let me reminisce a little on my relationship with the outgoing Chief of Army Staff. Our relationship dates way back, and I have, over the years since our Nigerian Defense Academy days, enjoyed some chief of operations. There's no doubt, as you transit into retirement on this glorious moment, I shall do everything within my power to improve on your legacy of a proficient, effective, and admirable Nigerian Army. Permit me to equally appreciate all the very senior officers that are disengaging from service by the virtue of my appointment as the Chief of Army Staff. The success we today celebrate in General Yaya could not have been possible without your loyalty and support. The Nigerian Army celebrates you. Tomorrow, we will further celebrate the outgoing Chief of Army Staff by holding a pulling out ceremony for him. So I put it as a charge that my officers and commanders must mobilize themselves and attend that ceremony in number. For the other senior officers that have disengaged, we hope to formally invite you for a befitting disengagement ceremony in no distant time. Although you are disengaging from service, your experience and wisdom should not be denied the Nigerian Army and the colleagues you are leaving behind. Therefore, be rest assured that my team and I shall occasionally knock on your doors to seek guidance. On this note, I promise that I shall discharge my responsibilities as the Chief of Army Staff with fairness, merit, and hard work shall be duly rewarded, while appropriate measures taken to bring back in line anyone that errs. I thank everyone that has come to witness this change of battle ceremony and wish you all the very best in life. Thank you and God bless
you. Thank you so very much, Chief of Army Staff, sir. Very senior officers, ladies and gentlemen. That was the remarks by the 23rd Chief of Army Staff, Major General T.A. Labaja, Nigerian Army Major. Of course, he has made a good espousement of a number of issues here. He has told us how the Army has been taken to another milestone of transformation characterized by unprecedented procurement of equipment, decimation of terrorists and insurgents, and of course, currently witnessing massive surrender of insurgents in the Northeast. He has also made it very clear that coming from his background as 2 times General Officer Commanding of a 82 and 1 divisions, and of course, immediate past Chief of Operations Army. He will, of course, is empowered to create an army that is proficient, professional, and reliable. Thank you so very much, Chief of Army Staff, sir. May I once again call for a resounding applause for the Chief of Army Staff. Thank you so very much. The Chief of Army Staff, sir, senior officers, gentlemen, with those remarks, we're about to draw the curtain on this segment of the handing and taking over ceremonies here within this conference hall. However, before we proceed to the quarterguard for the quarterguard drills, talking about the traditional and regimental aspect of this handing and taking over, we will join the outgoing and the collegial army staff in group photographs. It will go. It's the outgoing and incoming
Back. We need to go back very well.
May I invite you to please step forward, sir. The camera and please.
We get this mic.
And next.
Let's go back. Let's go back.
May I call the principal staff officers to please rise gracefully here and join me. Principal staff officers. Principal staff officers, please join me.
Let's go back.
May I